What up, Nation? It's your boy Tommy SB. We're back at it again. Race 2 of the playoffs here, man. We got ourselves at Richmond. Richmond's a little fun track. It's a 0.75 mile, fairly flat banked oval. Comps well to tracks like New Hampshire, Phoenix, and a little bit of Martinsville if you really want to kind of get a little bigger sample size. So this weekend, you got some drivers that are going to have to get some solid finishes to advance through the playoffs. People like MDB, Blaney even, these guys can't really mess up. So what are we going to do with them? This weekend, then we've got these dominant drivers that are dominant every week, like your Kevin Harvicks, your Denny Hamlins, your Joey Logano's, even that stuff like that this week, man. So, like I said, 400 laps this week, 300 full Dominator points. So, nailing the Dominators this week is going to be 100% crucial for you to do anything in tournaments this week. And I think it's probably, at least in cash, you're going to need probably the two main Dominators in order to cash. And then maybe sneaking some of these Dominator Bs in here that we've seen that have gotten like 30, 40 laps, maybe enough to kind of be, a threat at potentially lower ownership. So, over the last 6 or 7 races, we've had usually at least two drivers leading right around that 100 lap mark or more. As we can see over the last few races, Truex 109, Kyle Busch 202. So as we see constant trend that we usually have at least two guys leading about 100 laps. You look at the last 3 races, you just had to play Kyle Busch and Martin Truex together, and you already had the basis done there for you. So what are you going to do with that this week is another question. But like I said, you're going to definitely need those two. And then as we've seen even here last fall, that third driver, Brad Keselowski, and even here we had a bunch of Dominator Bs back in the early spring race in 2019 with a couple guys leading 30. Harvick probably didn't get you there with the 30 laps. Joey Logano probably got you there with the 52 laps. So it's looking like it's going to shake out to be somewhere between a 2 to 4 Dominator race. There's just so many Dominator points that you don't want to, try to overstate that with trying to get these maybe easy place differential guys that have that Dominator upside. So, again, I think you're going to probably be playing at least 2 guys, probably over the 9K range. Drivers like Logano and above, you're probably going to start at least in cash with at least 2 of them. And then, as far as where we go from there is how much more, you're going to try to snag up with these other guys. But, we'll dive right into this driver by driver breakdown, man. You guys got any questions, fire them up, man. Like I said, give us those like buttons. Come subscribe to us, man. Come see us every week. Come check us out at Wise Take Nation, man, or hit us up on Twitter if you got some questions as well. So, start off with Denny Hamlin this week, 11-6. He's starting 7th. Denny's decent here. He's not somebody that, you're going to have to say, well, he's too expensive. I'm going to have to completely shy away from him. He's really good on these flat tracks. Really good at Richmond and Martinsville. As we can see from the finishes here recently, Denny Hamlin, consistently top 10 car. At this price tag, Denny's going to have to be one of those probably 100-lap Dominators coupled with a finish at least of where he started in order to be, relevant. If he gets 100 laps and finishes 10th, he's probably still going to get you there. But, you're hoping for a good solid finish with 100 laps from him. So, I see Denny Hamlin probably being somewhere in that, 25 to 30, 35% range today. Popular, like I said, you're going to be playing a lot of these guys up in this 9K range. Then we got Kevin Harvick. He's 11-3, starting on the pole. So, you look at Kevin Harvick, you're like, man, I love Kevin Harvick. Starting on the pole, I want to get on him. He's really good with these high tire wear tracks, which Richmond's another track that's known for that. The only problem is he usually just ends up there at the end of the race. Being the second most expensive guy, again, Harvick's probably going to need to be one of those Dominators with you're probably going to need 50, 60 laps at least and win the race, or more Dominator points coupled with a couple of places, a place differential negative that he could score, finishing you 5th or 6th or something like that. So, do I think Kevin Harvick can easily finish inside the top 10 here? Absolutely. As we see, he does it fairly consistently as well, just like Denny Hamlin. You got the top 15, top 16 for each of them sprinkled in to the rest of the races, in the last 10 being pretty much all inside of the top 10. So Next, you got Martin Truex. He's 10-9. I think the two of those guys, even though they're probably going to see 25 to 30, 35% ownership, Truex, I'd rather save the $700 on Denny Hamlin and play Truex where I've got some place differential upside. At Truex's price, he could pull a Kevin Harvick and lead 30, 40 laps and finish inside of the top 5 and probably smash for us. And he's led over 100 laps here in like 5 straight races. He's dominant here. 109, 186, 160, 121. You couple that, you could give me an average day. You can give me 70, 80 laps at your price tag and finish inside of the top 5. And I'm cashing checks all the way to the bank with that one. As we see the last 2 races last year, he won them both, coupled with a third before that. Had a little string of bad luck before that. I think this race is going to comp more to your 18s because of the fact that we're bringing it back to 750 horsepower, slightly lower downforce package that they've run here back in 2018. We had the 550 high downforce package last year, and it was kind of a boring race to watch. But I think we're going to get back into some of that stuff we see from 18. Usually a caution or 2, maybe 3 for incidents. Usually tires here. Not so much people bouncing off the wall and causing anything major. It's usually tire blowouts and debris is what brings out the cautions here. So, with the higher horsepower package, he's got slipping the tires a little bit more. Do I think that could be a slightly more issue than we've seen in the past? Sure. Maybe another caution extra or 2. I still don't think it's going to be anything super, super wild. But, there's always the chance for that. But, for me, Truex, I think is probably going to be the chalkiest play of the week up in this range because it's, like I said, even a top 5, you're taking that 10 extra points with that, and coupled with a 10-9 price tag, you're happy. Chase Elliott's, kind of the same boat. Definitely not going to see the ownership that Martin Truex is going to see starting 12th at 10-5. Elliott's one of the drivers that hasn't been the greatest at Richmond, but he does get solid finishes. Chase 13th, 15th. You're going to need one of these races from 18. So we're hoping for him that it couples back to the 2018 package where he finished 2nd and 4th. 34 laps at his price tag isn't going to get us there. So, we're looking for a career race out of Chase this week. So that's why I think his ownership's going to get limited a little bit. I think, like I said, you're going to see Truex probably around 40, 45% just because of the 2 wins last year. You'll probably see Chase in that 20 to 25% range. These guys in the 9Ks and above, I think you're going to staple these guys into your lineups in cash and in tournaments as well. Like I said, you're going to probably have to nail the 2 guys up here that are your big dominators. And as we get into the 8K rooms, that's where you're going to get your slightly cheaper kind of third dominator that you're looking for. So, Chase Elliott, again, fairly popular. I'd rather play Truex, $400 price tag difference. But again, Chase Elliott starting 12th. If he wins the race, he's probably getting you there. If he gets some dominator points on some strategy, leads 20, 30, 40 laps and finishes inside the top 5, he'd probably get you there. But still a little pricey, so it's going to be a little more of an uphill road for him. But, Truex I think is safer, but you can always go there. Brad Keselowski, last guy in the 10K range. With this 750 package and these shorter tracks, we've really seen that Penske's been solid here. Last year started 1st, finished 5th. Again, solid finishes consistently, pretty much inside of the top 11 in the last 9 races. That's what you're looking for, that kind of consistency. And has been, at his price tag, the 89, 67, 110, any of those 3, I think you're cashing checks to the bank with the potential, few spots of place differential upside. You got coupled with a top 5 in 30, 40 laps, he probably gets you there. So, again, I can see myself playing some Brad Keselowski. He's not going to be the most popular, probably see a little bit less ownership than Chase Elliott, even probably closer to that 20% range, based on the fact that you're not getting as many place differential spots. Next, we'll roll into Kyle Busch, at $9,800. Kyle, for me, man, has been the proverbial question every week. It's like he's either starting far enough back that you want to play him, or he's starting close enough to the front at a track that he is absolutely dominant at. So, what are you going to do with that? Again, another one of these drivers that has led laps in the last 5 races. Back here in 2019, 202 laps. Like, if you didn't have him, you didn't even cash in tournaments. But again, like, what are you going to do with Kyle Busch this week, man? It's either he's going to do what he's supposed to do, and he's going to get you there, or he's absolutely going to crush your soul because he finishes 18th with no laps led, and he gets you like a 20, and you're just disgracing his name like he has the last couple of weeks. So, starting sixth, even at $9,800, you're probably going to need him to finish around here and lead you probably 40 to 50 laps. I think is the easiest way for him to get you there. Or, like I said, this does comp very well to the 2018 package, where he did have first and first. So again, what are you going to do with that average finish of 5.6 over the last 10 races? So, again, it's the proverbial question with him every week, man. And even in the Xfinity race the other day, like, it wasn't anything that I was super impressed with. I mean, he finished third, scored like 70, I think, fantasy points or something like that. And for his price tag, it wasn't enough. You could have played the other guys below him and got there even better. So, next we've got Ryan Blaney at 9,500, starting 15th. You like the place differential potential with Blaney. It's just this is not a track that I feel like I'm super comfortable playing Blaney. Like I said, with him, in order to get through to this next round of the playoffs, he cannot have a bad day. So I don't see him really taking any crazy chances here, just knowing the fact that he's been vocal that this is not a good track for him. I think his best finish is like 17th here. That's not going to kill you, but I'm not going to spend $9,500 for a guy that doesn't have non-dominator upside or place differential upside. The only way I see Blaney crushing me is if Blaney somehow gets around on strategy and is able to finish inside of the top 5 and snag maybe a handful of fastest laps or something like that throughout the race. But like I said, his ownership's not going to be crazy, which, again, if you can get Blaney at low ownership, does make him a little bit more interesting. But again, I don't know if you're going to have to go there, especially with Joey Logano, who's starting second at $9,300. So again, this is the front row question: which one of these two guys, Kevin Harvick or Joey Logano, is going to lead the first part of this race? Logano is another driver that's extremely good here. Again, another guy that's consistently inside of the top. Will knock out the 14th. He's consistently right around the top 10. Second best average finish here. Logano's got the lap sled that he's going to need. I think you're going to probably need somewhere north of 40 or 50 laps for Logano, which we've seen he can do before. To get you there, and at the price tag, the place differential downside is the way he's going to make up for that downside if he does lose some spots is with how many dominator points he's able to get. And if he's able to get out there and lead, say, the first full tank of gas, like he's able to get around Harvick at the beginning of this race, lead the first 50, 60 laps till they got to start pitting for tires, Logano's probably going to get you there starting second. And you're getting him at a $2,000 price tag difference between Harvick. I definitely like that more. I still think Harvick's going to be more popular, but I don't think it's going to be by a whole ton. And I'd rather play the lower owned of those two, just because I'd rather let Harvick crush everybody when he finishes 8th. And Logano, who finishes, say, 4th or 5th after some strategy, gets some laps led and crushes him. So, I'd like the price tag difference. I think Logano, again, still probably going to be popular, 25-30%. But, what are you going to do with that front row? I don't know if you need to play the two of them together. I mean, I could definitely see a way that the two of them do get there. But like I said, I don't think you need to go crazy. Then we got Kurt Busch, last guy in the 9K range at $9,100. Kurt Busch is going to garnish a little bit of ownership. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, probably sub 10%. At $9,100 starting 8th. We're not asking the world out of him, but there's other guys that are kind of in this range as we start to roll into them that I think have got an easier way to get you there. People like Jones, Jimmy Johnson, even Boyer, even Stenhouse, probably. I definitely could see Kurt Busch finishing inside of the top 10. but even at his price tag, we're going to need some laps led. Kurt Busch does have some laps led here. We would need an 18, one of these 40 or 50 lap things, and him finishing around where he started. I could see having him crushed for you. And I think you're probably going to see him come in at some 10% ownership. We've attacked him a little bit when he's been lower owned, and he's been kind of one of those sneaky low owned hammers. So I could see you taking some stabs on Kurt Busch. I don't think you need to go crazy. I could definitely see you playing him in tournaments. I definitely don't think you're going to go there in cash, that's for sure. But, in some of these tournaments, he's worth a shot. If he's one of those Dominator Bs that you like, like I said, I could see you taking a shot at him. I think all these guys kind of in that range as we start to roll in. Even Eric Jones, as we start to roll into the 8K range. He ended up finishing 4th here last year and scoring at 55. I'll take that. But, he's not been very, very consistent here. 38th, 14th, 11th, 13th, 6th, 38th. I mean, it's so all over the place, wishy-washy. These short flat tracks just haven't been what he likes. Another guy that finishes right around where he's starting. I could see him finishing 17th and, crushing, say, 20% of the field or so, depending on people are going. Again, worth a shot as we get into this range. If he's able to squeeze out a top 5 somehow magically, I could definitely see him getting there. But you're going to need a career race out of Jones, even, 6th or something like that is what we're going to need, to be sneaky. And like I said, you're going to get him probably 20% or so. So, again, if you want to take a shot with Eric Jones, I don't hate you for it. Just, again, maybe a tournament target, but I don't think you need to go there in cash. Jimmy Johnson starting 18th. He's really fast in Martinsville. He's decent at New Hampshire. So, these short tracks are kind of Hendrick's bread and butter this year. It's where they've been the best when they've been okay. So you're getting Jimmy starting 18th. You're going to need a handful of spots probably out of him. If he can finish where he's supposed to, which is like 12th or better, you're probably going to be happy at that price tag. You'd probably like something inside the top 10, to be kind of in a smash spot. But, again, he's safer, I guess, in this 8K range. The rest of these guys, as we kind of roll through them down through into like the mid-7s, these are all of your sneaky Dominator Bs. You got Eric Amarola starting 10th at $8,500. He's got a few top 10s here, but, pretty consistently mid-pack. So you're looking at this, you see an average finish of 14.9. It's not horrible starting 10th. You're going to need, for him, I see the way Amarola getting there is maybe on, with these strategies with cautions and green flag stops. I can see Amarola leading a handful of laps throughout this race, or maybe stealing a couple of fastest laps on fresh tires. Coupled with finishing probably close to where he started, I think is a way you could see him possibly get you there. Started 7th here last year, finished 17th. I mean, it's not going to be enough. 16th, apologize. So we're going to need more than that if we're going to get you there. But again, Amarola is going to be one of these low-owned, kind of difference makers as you're rolling through these tournaments. If you get him at sub 10% and the guy goes out and finishes 5th at this price tag, you're super stoked about that. So again, somebody you can get weird with. Clint Boyer, a little more popular, getting one extra spot. Clint Boyer's another driver that's pretty decent here. Last 2 races last year, last 4 he's been top 10. Starting 11th, you're probably going to want a few spots. Boyer, we're hoping for, again, probably the same boat as Amarola, maybe some Dominator points coupled with the finish around where he started. So, again, another one of these drivers that if he's going to make it into the playoffs, him, Amarola, and Blaney are like the ones that are the most at risk as far as getting kicked out after this first round ends. So, they got these solid finishes, and they're going to try to maybe steal some stage points, which could hurt their total finish. What are they going to do? It's kind of going to be scary with both of them. Ricky Stenhouse starting 23rd. Ricky's another one of these drivers that, you see Ricky start 23rd, you're like, oh wow, cool, yeah, like I can get him at $8,100. I just don't have the price tag. If Ricky was in $7,100 starting 23rd, I think I'd be more all over it. 2 laps lifetime, just saw that here, but even Stenhouse's finish is like, okay, you can go out and get me a 15th. You're not killing me. To pay off his expensive $8,100 price tag, I probably would have rather have seen him either a little bit cheaper or a little further back. Does a 15th place finish get you there? Maybe. But I think you're going to need more, especially at that price tag. Initially I thought his ownership would have come in a little higher, but everything I've seen across the board is right around that 10% margin. Because the finishes haven't been stellar, so I don't know if you have to go there. Austin Dillon starting 3rd. You can pretty much, if you're doing 20 entry, just kind of fade him. I mean, his best finishes were 6 back-to-back, but starting that close to the front at this price tag, I don't think we're going to need to go with Austin Dillon, especially if you're doing 20 entry. You're doing like 150. Some hedge teams with him, sure. I could see you getting there with it, but not somewhere I think you have to go for sure. We got Alex Bowman starting 4th. Another guy that's okay. He was decent, I think, at Martinsville. Wasn't the greatest at New Hampshire. Again, even at his price tag starting 4th, he's going to be like one of your proverbial sneaky dominators. I mean, I could see a way of him getting some laps led. Maybe the leaders pit early, and he goes out, leads 15, 20 laps, and finishes inside of the top 10. I can see some sneaky stuff happening there. Kind of the same with his teammate starting 5th. It's a little too close to the front for me for guys that I don't think really jump off the page. I definitely think Bowman will be more popular than Byron just because he's been more decent lately. But again, he's not really jumping off the page. 40's not going to kill you at $7,700. 62 is what we're probably hoping for. Probably somewhere in the 50 mark is what I'd like to see out of him. 40 mark would be fine too. But again, it's going to be the same with his teammate. Skip over to MDB for a second. Byron, like I said, Byron starting 5th. Again, the only way I see him getting there is on some type of really wild pit strategy, and get you 20, 30 laps led, and then finishes where he started. You like the price tag, but again, these are going to be sneaky dominators. If you want to put those in as your dominator 3. By all means, if that's kind of the price range you're pushed in after you've taken your, your place differential plays that you like, I can see you getting there. MDB starting 16th. Again, another one of those drivers that's right around the cut line. He's one of the 4 that's underneath the cut. He's going to need a solid finish. I think if this is a chance that there's a track that he's going to potentially win at, this might be the one. MDB is another guy that's solid here. Since coming over 14th, 16th, there's 2 best, and that was in crap equipment. So starting 16th, you feel like he's going to have himself a nice career day. I can see you coming here. At his price tag, if he gets you anything inside of the top 10 at $7,500, you're probably happy. And I could see him garnishing a little bit of ownership. He'll probably be somewhere around Bowman. These two probably be pretty close. You're taking the potential dominator here and the place differential here, depending on which way you want to go with that. Cole Custer starting 13th. And if I'm doing 20 entry, I don't think I need to go here, especially because I got Christopher Bell starting 26th. Custer, I don't think he's going to see anything over 5-10% ownership. If you want to get really weird and you think Custer can finish around where he started, okay. We can see you going there. But Christopher Bell, I think, is going to garnish some ownership this week, starting 26th. You know, Bell at his price tag, you're hoping for 10 spots or so. I can see you getting there. He's really good in Xfinity here. You know, you're hoping for like 10 spots with Bell. It's easy enough to play Bell instead of any of these other 4 guys above him. You know, and then the guys below him, like I said, it's kind of dead man's land. As soon as we get kind of like the Kurt Busch, all the way through like MVP, Byron, all the way through Custer, that 7,300 to 9,100 is like, that's where you're going to get your weird, maybe third person, or if you're like, nah, I'm going to fade some of the chalk in the 9K and above range, and I'm going to try to steal some of these guys in here. Like, I think, you know, Harvick and, you know, Harvick and Logano are going to take themselves out of the first lap and crush half the field. I could see you playing in here, but again, I think you're probably only going to need one around in here. Then we got Bubba Wallace starting 30th. You know, we finally got Bubba starting in a spot where I think people are going to play him. You know, again, but Bubba Wallace is Bubba Wallace. You know, another guy that's solid, 12th here last year, 27th, 25th. You know, I'm going to want more than that. I'm going to want something closer to that 12th to be super happy. You know, and I see Bubba coming in at like 30% probably. So what are you going to do with that? Bubba Wallace finished 25th at $7,100. He's probably going to crush 30% of the field. You think he's going to get closer to a 20 or an 18th or, you know, one of these career races? Then I could see definitely going there. The place differential upside is there. You know, like I said, all you're looking for is like 10 spots. But anytime that you play Bubba Wallace, you're taking a risk, man. I've seen him have brake issues here. I've seen him have car issues. 37, finished 13th. That was his monster year last year. That's what you're going to need out of him this year. Then you get Ryan Newman starting 21st. Newman is another driver that, like, again, Newman goes out and finishes like 15th. And Wallace goes out and finishes 22nd or 23rd. Ryan's probably outscoring him. You know, again, Newman's probably going to see a little bit of ownership, nothing crazy, probably like 20%. You know, a little less than you're going to see with Bubba. I do like the pivot. Same thing with Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick starting 22nd is definitely another interesting play. You know, I see him getting probably 25 to 30%. These guys in this range, like Newman, Tyler Reddick, Matt Kenseth even a little bit, John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, Corey LaJoy, Daniel Suarez, like all the way through McDowell. Do this like $5,400 range because you're going so top heavy with your lineup. You're going to end up taking 1 to 2 guys down here. The only problem is I only see probably 2 or 3 of them really crushing. And it's going to be you having to get those 2 or 3 completely right with your 2 or 3 dominators up top in order to have a shot to take on these tournaments. But again, these guys could easily just scrap your whole day. You know, Ryan Newman finishes 25th at 20-something% ownership. He just ruined everybody's day. Tyler Reddick starting 22nd, finishes 25th. You know, probably taking around 30% of the field with him. Matt Kenza, same thing. If he doesn't gain you a couple of spots, he's crushing you. I definitely think Kenza to be one of the lower owned in this range, starting 19th. And again, that makes him a little bit more interesting. Like, Kenseth goes out and finishes 13th. Kenseth crushes for you. But I don't know if you're going to have to go there with Kenseth. This hasn't been fast since coming back. I mean, he did lead 300 laps here once before, but like I said, I really don't think you're going to have to go here. Like I said, 352 laps, 164 once before, but you know, that was back on a much better team and much better equipment and much more of a spring chicken than he is now. So, you know, you got John Hunter Nemechek, probably going to see 15% ownership. Dude just has to not hit the freaking wall and get you 8 to 10 spots, and you're probably happy at his price tag at $6,500. But again, I can see Nemechek taking, you know, 15, 20% of the field down with him because he finishes 31st because he's the freaking idiot. Ty Dillon starting 27th. You know, I think is probably one of the safer plays in this range. But Ty Dillon, week in and week out, is anything but safe. very wishy-washy. These 20s are probably going to be nice. You're going to need pretty much a career day out of him. He has looked a lot better recently, especially on these short flat tracks. The average finish in 19th on these tracks this year, and 19th at his price tag. I'm probably super happy with that. Ryan Preece starting 24th. Much rather play Dillon for sure. Probably play Nemechek before I play him. Preece, when he's been in these semi-decent spots, is just usually just kick me square in the balls and maybe not want to play him again. Preece got me last week. I'm saying the 2 weeks, 3 weeks before that. Last week is 17th. Like, okay, starting 35th, I was all over that. But starting 24th, a little too close to the front for me, especially for Preece. So I don't really think you need to go there, especially when you got Chris Buescher starting 25th. Chris Buescher is going to be super, super popular. Buescher's another one of these guys that's fairly solid here. And he was solid in crap equipment. Now that he's got a better car, and we go over this every week. 17th and some of these mid-20s, starting where he's starting. You're probably happy with that. That $5,900, he goes out and gets you 2-3 spots. You're probably happy. Anything close to the top 20, I think Buescher is going to be one of the cheapest guys that's going to be able to do something for you. And then Corey Lejoy, if you want to take the ultimate safety, he's starting 34th. Probably can't score you negative points. And he's not the absolute worst here. One of these mid-20s at his price tag is probably going to put him in Crush City. So are you going to take a stab with him? If you need to, I can see it. You're in the 5K range. Like I said, you're going to be top heavy. And like I said, 1 or 2 of these guys at least are going to hit, and you're going to have them. Suarez starting 28th. If that's all you got left, see you trying to sneak that in there. But again, he's starting a little too far forward for me. If Suarez had a 30 in front of him, I'd be a little more excited. But 28th, I could see him at best probably finishing around there, maybe a spot or two farther forward at the most, but probably more than likely in the 30s. So I don't think you need to go there. JJ Yaley starting 32nd. 2 races here, 33rd, 34th. Again, I don't think you're going to have to really get into the bargain basement. I know you're going to be stacking the tops, but even if we stack the tops and you took, say, a Martin Truex, a Joey Logano, give some place differential sweetness here. I do like Christopher Bell. Some spots here. Let's maybe grab us Jimmy Johnson. Some Chris Buescher. Let's still these are the 8K. So I got my 2 main dominators. And again, it's kind of pushing me into this range like I said it would. If you take one of these really cheap guys, you can really spend up and be comfortable. You think Bowman's going to be your sneaky third? Sure. So you $300. You can play with that. It's not, like I said, I don't think building teams is going to be hard. You're going to feel like every team is good. But again, it's not going to take much for you to get crushed. So, like I said, guys, fire these questions up, man. We only got a little bit left here. So, know what you guys got. We get rolling out of here, man. Race starts at 7. So let's see what you guys got, man. So fire them up. So like I said, everything in the top 10 or in the 10K range is going to be cars you're going to be willing to play. As we go to even with the rankings, Logano I think is my safest play. Truex, do like the place differential upside. And then Harvick again, possible dominator, Keselowski and Elliott with a little bit of place differential dominator both did do them. Again, Bubba Wallace I think is comfortable starting 30th at his price. And then we roll down through and then we get some of these sneaky dominators like MVP. And then as we get into your value plays, like I said, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, Dillon, Corey Lejoy, all pretty comfortable plays that you can play without scaring yourself. Nemechek, I hate the price tag, man. If he would have been cheap like he's supposed to be, maybe in the mid-5s, I could see him playing a little bit more Nemechek. But that's what we got to get crazy with, man. So Like I said, guys, got a couple of thumbs up, man. If you got any questions, concerns, throw them out to me, man. If not, I'm going to wrap up out of here. Some teams built, man. We got the race starting here in about an hour. So if you guys got any questions, man, hit me up on Twitter. Like I said, check us out at WiseTake Nation, wisetake.com. Check out the website. Check us out on Twitter at WiseTake, Wise_Take. My boy CK is always here to ask the questions. If you guys want to punch your ticket to Screenshot City, man, let me know. All right, guys, we'll see you again next week. Good luck.
Yeah.